Hello, this is Anthony Fowler. You're watching Sporting Icons.
Right, so hopefully you guys have seen the heavyweight one, the welterweight one, and the super middleweight one for the final rankings of 2018. Now, based on those videos, I did say to you guys that I'm not using the sanctioning bodies, as in the WBC, WBO, IBF and WBA. I'm not interested in using those because for me, I think all sanctioning bodies can be paid off to rank certain fighters in certain positions, to create opportunities for certain promoters and managers, fighters. So that's why I use BoxRec, because it is an unbiased one. Some people say, why didn't you use Ring Magazine? Ring Magazine is somewhat owned by Golden Boy. So again, that can also be swayed. So that's why I use BoxRec. So anyway, if you guys have seen the previous three, thank you very much. And on this one, I thought we'll do the super welterweight one, a division that not really talked about too much. It's more talked about this year than it has been previous. So it's a division that's becoming very, very exciting. And I think a lot of that is the injection of Kell Brook. Just the name in itself puts eyes on a division where, especially here in the UK, we don't really look at it. It's a very popular division in America, but here in the UK, we haven't really looked at it that much outside maybe a Liam Smith. So anyway, on this one, we're going to do a top 10 on this one, okay, but I will give some honorable mentions before we get into it. Most notably, Erickson Lubin, he's at number 20. He does have a fight coming up soon, in a pretty decent fight, to be fair, against Ishe Smith, which will be on the 9th of February. So that'd be an interesting one, but certainly I would favour Lubin to win that one. Of course, he's on a bit of a comeback now since he got knocked out by Jermell Charlo. There's some other ones as well. You got Anthony Fowler at number 25. Of course, Anthony Fowler, British fighter. He's only 9 fights in as well. But you know what? I think that Anthony Fowler could potentially go on and do something real good one day in the super welterweight. Will he stay at super welterweight? Don't know, to be honest. We really don't know. But of course, most people would love to see him go up against Ted Cheeseman. That would be an excellent fight. Ted Cheeseman currently is ranked at number 18 in the world. Now, as I said, this is the final ranking for 2018. As of right now, this is what BoxRec deem as the best fighters. Not necessarily as to who can beat who, not at all. It's a case of activity helps, and who it is that you're for also helps as well. But if you're just keeping active, fighting knockovers, again, you will get points for them, as opposed to just sitting on the sidelines not doing much. So anyway, yeah, so Ted Cheeseman, who is only 15-0 and is the British super welterweight champion, excellent year that he's had, especially claiming that title last time around over Asinia Byfield. But Ted Cheeseman in at number 18, which for his position and his age is an excellent final year ranking. But he's got a huge fight coming up in February against Sergio Garcia, who's at number 12, undefeated Spanish fighter, 28-0, and this will be for the European title as well as. So this is a massive step up for Ted Cheeseman. Brandon Rios, of course, he's number 13. He looked pretty good in his last fight against Ramon Alvarez. Took him 9 rounds, but very dominant since he's lost to Danny Garcia beforehand. But as I said, he's in at number 13. Liam Smith from the UK is at number 11. Of course, former WBO world welterweight, super welterweight world champion. He did get another opportunity since he lost that title to Saul Canelo Alvarez. He has won 3 fights since, and he lost his last one against Jaime Munguia when he tried to get that title back by unanimous decision, and he gave a pretty good account of himself, to be fair, in that fight. So Liam Smith is at number 11. Other honourable mentions in here: Charles Hatley, he's number 22, and Takeshi Inoue is number 24. Now, Inoue, he's only 13-0. Of course, a brother of the other 2 Inoues as well. He's 29 years old, from Japan, and he'll be taking on Jaime Munguia at the end of this month, the 26th of January, for the WBO World Super Welterweight Championship. So this is a hell of a step up for him. Of course, this will be on the Golden Boy and DAZN show as well. So that is one hell of a step up. But at the minute, Inoue is ranked at number 24. And if he was to somehow beat Munguia, which you wouldn't write him off, you wouldn't never write off any Inoue, right? That would propel him right up there, wouldn't it? So, anyway, let's move into the top 10. So, Austin Trout. For me, that's quite high. I have to be honest, 31-5. He did lose his last fight to Jermell Charlo on points. For me, I think that Charlo should have boosted him in that fight. He did lose to Jarrett Hurd as well as, and before then he lost to Jermell's brother Jermell as well. So every time he kind of steps up, he falls short. But either way, they like him enough. He's doing enough to keep a 10 position ranking. Number 9, Michel Sorrel, 33-2. And Sorrel is a French fighter and has been doing okay. He has lost to a guy that is a little bit dubious, in my opinion, Brian Carlos Castano, where he lost on points. But his record is very padded. That's my honest opinion to this one. I feel that his record is very padded. But ultimately, they have him in at number 9. And speaking of Castano, he's ranked just above him in number 8. We've just mentioned him there. Number 7, Julian Williams. He's a decent fighter, that's for sure. 26 wins with only 1 defeat. His 1 defeat was against Jermell Charlo, who's currently at 160 pounds right now. And he got stopped in 5 rounds. He has beaten Ishe Smith, but outside of that, again, a very, very padded record, in my opinion. But either way, they have him in a pretty decent position of number 7. Jermell Charlo, number 6. Bit of a shocker, right? He lost to Tony Harrison. This was a cherry pick. I think that's pretty well recognised, and that cherry bit him hard. And he overlooked his opponent, in my opinion. I think that Tony Harrison should have got done in that fight. That's my honest opinion. It's like both Charlos. For me, they're not the real deal right now, but they could be. They really could be, but they get a little bit arrogant, a little bit cocky. They have the Deontay Wilder mentality of pad your record, pad your record, pad your record. Avoid the top fighters, but just keep on being active. But they haven't been as active as maybe they could have been this year. Well, it's arguable, I suppose. But I think that Jermell taking on Tony Harrison was a clear cherry pick when he had other ones to be looking around. He could have tried to unify against Jarrett Hurd or Jaime Munguia, or maybe took on an Erislandy Lara or a Kell Brook, but just didn't want to do that. He took on Tony Harrison. And yes, he legitimately lost that fight. But hopefully 2019 we see a comeback for Jermell and he starts putting in some great performances, stops overlooking fighters, stop thinking that he's better than he really is right now. As I said, he could be the real deal one day, but right now he's just hype, and that's being honest. And I've always said that, and this fight proved it, much like his brother as well. For me, he got a steal decision over Korobov. But anyway, this is the Super Welterweight. So Jermell Charlo, he lost his WBC title to Tony Harrison. In number 5, Kell Brook. So he's ranked above Jermell Charlo right now. Kell Brook hasn't been the most active this year. Again, he's been wasting a lot of his time trying to chase Amir Khan. I don't know why he's going down that route. Personally, he needs to be going after one of the other champions. I've always wanted to see him take on Jermell Charlo. That's my honest opinion. And I know what people are thinking, which is why I was a little bit reluctant to say it, that Jermell Charlo would walk through Kell Brook. I've always said, I don't think so. Not at all, which is why I want to see it. Hopefully we get to see it. But, well, with Tony Harrison as WBC champion, and again, I'm hearing that there is no rematch clause between Charlo and Harrison. Again, stupid oversight. If that turns out to be true, very, very stupid oversight. But Kell Brook against Tony Harrison, do not be surprised if Eddie Hearn tries to make that fight, because he will see Tony Harrison as easier than Charlo. And almost, not a guarantee, but it's a very good opportunity to become a world champion, a 2-weight world champion. So fully expect Kell Brook versus Tony Harrison at some point 2019 in the first half. That's my honest opinion. Tony Harrison, number 4, beating Jermell Charlo, of course. He has previously lost to Jarrett Hurd in that. And again, he should never have been WBC champion. Charlo's either completely overrated or just completely overlooked him. Not too sure what happens. Erislandy Lara. Of course, he lost his title to Jarrett Hurd in the unification last time out, but maintains a number 3 position. Number 2, Jaime Munguia. For me, I believe that he could be the best at 154. That's my honest opinion. He's 31-0. He does have a very padded record. Let's not pretend he hasn't, but he has defeated Saddam Ali, Liam Smith, and Brandon Cook, especially Brandon Cook, convincingly. And he does have another defense of his title end of this month. against Takeshi Inoue. So that'd be an interesting one on the Golden Boy and DAZN show. So he's number 2 right now. Number 1 is Jarrett Hurd, again inactive because of injury in that this year, of course. And of course he did unify, as well as the unified Super Welterweight World Champion is ranked at number 1. Drop your thoughts below about it, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.